Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Like always, guys, any pairs, anything you're looking at, feel free to let us know in the chat. We'll speak about it together, discuss. If you're ending trades or want to share any trades, feel free to do that as well. Take a look, see what's happening. If you do want to join my Telegram channel, I do have a link to that in the description. I share my setups, my watch list, and videos I post there. So feel free to go and check that out if you want to do that. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link also in the description and at the top of the chat to IC Markets. So if you want to go check that out, feel free to go and do so. But yeah, guys, welcome back to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Like always, just share any posts you're looking at, but any posts, any charts you're looking at. But yeah, hope everyone is doing good. Morning, Biggie Smalls. Morning. Hope you are doing good. Welcome. We'll start with Euro USD, like usual. Actually, I'll start with DXY. See what dollar's doing these days. Okay, so for this one, we're still at the same resistance. Really, nothing much has really changed for this one. Actually, let me get the old watermark on there. Okay, so yeah, for the DXY, nothing really much has changed. We're still at the same resistance. Price hasn't really broken through that structure yet. We have seen a slight higher high, as you guys can see, a slight higher high with that ever so slightly closed. But again, I'm not going to look too much into that. I want to see price really clear that high to show me that we're confident making a higher high, not just kind of in and out in that area. So technically you can class it as a higher high, but for me, I want to see price really push through. Now confirm to me, okay, the buyers are really in control, and we can have to take that higher after that. But with that slight close, we could always come back in and see some downside really. So again, DXY is still looking bullish, to be fair. We've seen all this upside this week, and all price has really done is just held structure, and it's still pushing to the upside. It's banged its head 3 times on this resistance now. We've got one over there, second and a third. And it really hasn't really pushed away. We had the first test, strong push, second test, slightly weaker push, and the third one even weaker as well. So it looks like price is still maintaining these higher lows, and it could still be pushing to go and break out of this and continue flying to the upside. So even though that we are still below this, so I'm still technically bearish on the DXY, I do want to see price break through this support. If you break through that support, then yeah, I would see it's game over for the DXY. But if you break through that, then we could actually be flying back to highs at 109 and potentially higher as well, which continue that overall bullish trend. So yeah, DXY mainly focused on this area, undecided yet because it's still still below strong resistance. But then again, all I'm seeing is higher lows being formed. So we'll see what happens, who wins that battle. Do we maintain respect to that resistance, or do we break through? If we break through, like I said, we'll be bullish. Euro USD, however, is just very, very messy right now. Still trading at the lows of this range here, and with the highs of the range around there. And price is still trading at the lows here. So I haven't seen much of a push to the upside retracement for Euro USD over the past few days. We did see a strong push there, but the market tried to go bullish again over here. Well, originally over there, tried to go bullish again, and a 4th time during the night, but still failed to break through this resistance and then dropped to the downside. So overall for the Euro USD, it's kind of ranging within a range, if that makes sense. It's kind of very, very choppy for me. There's no real clear opportunity for this one. Again, if you guys are looking to trade this on the lower time frames for free, there might be an opportunity there. But I'm looking at the hourly and the 4H and the daily, and it's all just really messy and congested in that area. I'm not seeing too much clarity with this pair right now, so there's nothing really for me to do other than just wait for more price action to see if there's more information for me to go behind with. At the moment, things are still looking bearish. This could be a little high for another push to the downside. I wouldn't really bank on it because price again still trading at the lows of the range, so that's not really what I want to be selling. I want to be selling high, buying low in ranges, so I don't really want to be selling in the bottom half. If you can clear through this support, then that will open up the gates to a move to the downside down here, which will make a whole lot more sense. But as of right now, price is still trading into that support, so really nothing much for me to do in that area. Hourly, yeah, still looking very, very corrective. But yeah, it's all important to see what we do with the DXY as well, because if the DXY does break through that, which I would favor it to do so, then Euro could break through the support, and then the shorts will be looking much, much clearer for me anyway. Morning Mikey, welcome to the stream. Euro AUD, of course, we'll take a look, no problemo. Okay, so Euro AUD, big push to the upside over the past few hours there. Well, a few hours have actually consolidated, but before that, big push, breaking through those levels. I did say shorts will be looking good from this area here, nice support time resistance. We were forming all these consistent lower highs, so I was looking for another one to form around about there and continue that path to the downside, that journey. However, we've broken through that. We haven't quite broken through this structure because that's what we're reacting to right now. On the higher time frames, we had this trend line in about there, which we kind of just closed above. Again, I wouldn't read too much into it because although we have technically kind of closed above the trend line, it's a very, very weak closed, and today's candle could easily close straight back inside and give us a bit of a false break. So I'm still looking at shorting Euro AUD back down to these lows here, but we might take a steeper retracement, retest this structure here on the left at 1.478 before we go down. So for Euro AUD, I'm mainly looking at shorts from up here, but if that's not the case, I do want to see price get back underneath structure. So if this is a false break for Euro AUD, we'd like to see price get back below this, because technically we could find support on the trend line or on this level and start bombing off to the upside again into that level up there, which wouldn't be such a bad idea. But if this is a false breakout, when I see price get back below all that structure, and then we can short it back down from that and look for entries on the back end of that retest from the trend line, because the trend line's acted very, very well as resistance. You can see how many times we've come into this trend line. Each time we've come in, price is just rejected. So it's a very, very strong trend line, and now this is potentially our breakout. So if it is a false breakout, we should get back underneath, look for the retest, then we can take those shorts to the downside. If not, then yeah, shorts for me on the retest of that broken support term resistance is where I could see us push to, test some structure up there, and then get the bigger sell-off that I'm looking for. But yeah, mainly focused on the shorts. If you're looking at longs for your AUD, then if we do hold the trend line and the support here at 1.458 as support, then there could be some nice buys for continuation higher. But that's the only way I would really look to buy your AUD on that support level there. But other than that, my long-term bias, higher time frame analysis, still to the downside. So I'm only looking at shorts. Hi Miko, I can see an inverted head and shoulder on your AUD. Which time frame are you talking about? I'm talking about daily, 4H, hourly. You're talking about this pattern here? Because yeah, I would agree with you. That does look like an inverted head and shoulder. A little bit off, but it's the same scenario. Price making lower lows. Now let's make it's lower low and then start making higher lows. Bit of a neckline through us there, and we snap through that. So yeah, I would agree. But again, that pattern's kind of long gone there. Didn't really get a retest as we broke through that neckline. And actually talking about the daily time frame or something like that. With like a left shoulder here, a head, and then the right shoulder potentially, but I don't really see that, to be fair. So yeah, so you're probably talking about this one then, because I don't really see anything going on there. So yeah, that does look like a head and shoulder pattern, but again, that for me, that pattern is already long gone. If we do come back and retest the neckline, so to speak, it'll be kind of this support level here. Really nice support there, was resistance briefly. So if you're looking at buying and going long, then a retest of 1.458 as support would look good for some longs. If that's your bias, if that's the way you want to trade. But again, my higher time frames are still telling me to sell, and I'm still looking for us to go and take up this wick all the way down there, or at least go and test it. So I'm still bearish on this one. Still see the market going down, but we might retrace a little bit higher to come and retest this level here first before we do sell it off. But yeah, you're right, that does look like a head and shoulder pattern there. But yeah, we didn't really see a test of that neckline. Price kind of flew to the upside from that. But yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, Euro Nzd, similar pair, kind of did similar price action as well. A bit of a inverted head and shoulder. Left shoulder there, the head, and then the right shoulder. It's very, very similar price action. Euro Nzd and Euro AUD normally move very similar. And again, I'm still expecting this guy to come back down to these lows as well. So the upside we're seeing now, I do think it's short term. We might come back and retest this support term resistance, something like that, and then drop. If I do whip out the old Fibonacci, you've got a nice 50% there. So we could see a retracement to 50%. And then the continuation lower, something like that. So push and the pullback would make a whole load of sense there. But yeah, as things stand, we're still looking fairly bullish on the lower time frames. We are coming to some resistance. Again, very, very choppy, so difficult to trade this one. This is kind of like a range that the market's crept back into. So you can see really nice range down the left, up, down, galore. Now we broke back inside of it. So yeah, no real opportunity there for me on Euro Nzd. Would probably just wait to see if you can get a retest of this structure there on the left, and then come down off the back of that. Good to buy Pound Nzd Chef on a buy already 15 pips. Okay, I'll go have a look at Pound Nzd Chef. DXY is not moving as a swing trader, less volatility. I mean, DXY's move well, to be fair, from a swing perspective. I mean, look, we've got some really nice swings in this one. Nice bearish swing, nice bullish swing, nice bearish swing, nice bullish swing. It's been moving pretty well. I mean, if you're talking about recent price action over the past couple of days, you can't really judge it on that from a swing perspective. You know, swings multiple days. This is probably past like 2 days, 2.5 days. So yeah, we've consolidated. Haven't done much, but yeah, that's typically what happens before a swing happens. Price slows down, consolidates, and then it moves. Not all the time, but most of the time. So it tells me that a move is building up, whether it's to the upside, to the downside. Quite haven't worked that one out yet, but DXY has been showing some nice swings. But yeah, it is a little bit messy though. It is a little bit messy. It's very, very up and down. It's not really trending that well. But then again, the upside trend, you know, is still intact, and this could easily just be another retracement for continuation back up again, back into 109. Which explains why it's not moving well. But yeah, I'll take a look at Pound Nzd Chef. Pound Nzd Chef, so okay, Pound Nzd Chef looking a little bit bullish there. Let me just zoom out and see the bigger picture. Okay, yeah, so Pound Nzd Chef's been extremely bearish. We've got the COVID lows down there at 1.11162, which is where I believe the market long term is still headed towards. We've snapped through this support here at 1.17, very key support. Moved to the upside there, broke below, came back above, retested, big move to the upside, broke below again. So if we stay below 1.17, I'm expecting us to go and test the lows of that COVID wick down there at 1.11162. So still overall short bias for me for Pound Nzd Chef. So if you're in the longs, I wouldn't hold them then for too long. Funny, long. Wouldn't hold on them for too long because I still see the market going down. This is a very key level of support which the market held, and we did see a breakout through. So we could be coming for a retest of that structure to go to the downside. So if you're in the buys, I would say 1.15 400 is something to keep in mind as an area to be safe, to probably exit your trade at, or even these highs here, because we could double top and then drop again, because the markets monthly, weekly, daily are all still pretty bearish. Even 4H is pretty bearish as well. So everything is still pointing to the downside. So typically if you're looking to buy in a market like that, you're only looking for not much pips, and you don't want to be in the trade for too long, because you don't really want to be the trader that tries to call the reversal in a market like that. You can be if you want to, but probability is always going to be against you. You're better off just selling it. So yeah, with those buys, we are seeing some nice momentum there. We did see a kind of impulsive push in price, so it's like it's kind of mirroring that push there as well. So if you're eyeing that trade, I would manage it carefully. But 1.15 200 and 1.15 400 are probably areas where you should at least take some partials, or probably look at exit the trade completely, just be on the safe side of things. Because if we do hold resistance, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see another bearish leg to the downside. If you break back inside that range, then there could be a nice swing to the high of the range, which could be a really nice opportunity. But yeah, besides from that, the market is still pretty bearish. So yeah, I wouldn't hold on to those positions for too long. Probably think about taking profit around those areas. But yeah, it's still looking good. It's still looking good. Looks like it just about had a retest of this structure here. Consolidated, big push up, retest. So we could see another bullish leg before maybe respecting that resistance. So yeah, decent position there, but be careful because momentum is definitely going against you. Possible? What do you mean possible? Yeah, what do you mean possible? But yeah, I'm still focused to see what happens with the old DXY today. I'm favoring price probably to go and break it, and then from there I'll base some trades. So I'm looking at USD CAD with this one because yesterday we did see a lot of bullish momentum. I was talking to you guys about USD CAD quite a lot yesterday, saying I was looking for some shorts for this one. If we can hold that level, retest it and see some downside, but we kind of just blasted straight through that level. And I didn't want to take shorts coming into these highs because that for me really shows that momentum is back in the market to the upside. And I was really wanting to see rejection to the upside and then bear step in. And from that level, you know, it doesn't really tell me much because you've already seen a strong bullish push. And now we've seen another bullish push again. So it's really telling me that the market's really trying to fight this resistance. It is still rejecting, as you can see, 1, 2 there. But really, I wanted to see price retest that support and then drop to the downside. I'm not really necessarily looking to try and catch the top. It's still respecting the same resistance, so therefore I'm still bearish on USD CAD. This 1.29250 resistance, we've banged our head on this 3 times now, 1, 2, and 3. So if we can hold this and maintain that level, I do think USD CAD can roll over. If we do break through this level, however, that will change everything for me. And I'll be looking at price coming all the way back up to the highs up there eventually. Eventually back to those highs, but first target will be that resistance there. So I do see a lot of momentum coming back into USD CAD, but it just depends what we do with this level. Break through it, I think the buyers will step in very, very strong. And if you're going to respect that and break through that lower support there, then we could see price really looking to roll over. But yeah, I'm not convinced yet with the sellers or the buyers. I know we are, you know, still kind of respecting that level, but we have come back and respected this support as well. So it's still kind of back in the same range, and yeah, we could still fly to the upside. So for me to go bullish, need a break of that resistance, break back below, then I'll start entertaining some sell ideas. But yeah, not quite seeing what I want to see yet for USD CAD. Morning Dorcas, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. I'm looking to sell gold. Okay, we'll have a look at gold. Okay, so gold actually rolled over yesterday. We're in that range for a couple of days, and gold finally rolled over. Again, we had some targets here, that support there, and also the support down here, which price hasn't quite reached, all the way up there. Second one there, third one there, and potentially we could be seeing a fourth one here as well. So I am looking at gold rolling over back down to these lows eventually, and so far we've seen our first indication that could be on. So yeah, what I'm looking for gold is a pullback right now, to the upside to short, because we've taken out some key levels of support right now. So I don't want to step into some shorts when some buyers are looking to step in right now. So I ideally like gold to pull back, maybe to retest this structure here, or even better to retest this resistance here, and then from those areas I'll look to sell gold. Preferably I would rather it push a little bit higher into this level. 2 reason risk to reward looks better, and we're trading at the extremes of the structure there, because I know that we could fake this level here. But again, if it shows good signs of rejection, then that would still be a good short too. But yeah, I'm still looking for the gold shorts. Been doing for the past couple of weeks now, expecting price to roll over, and still looking at push down to 1700. So if you can see a pullback to 1773 or 1783, those for me are the best areas to really just short gold at the prior low or at the prior high, and short to the downside. And next target being 1755, which is this double bottom low. Nice move to the upside there. Haven't retested that level after taking out those lows down the left. So if we do pull back before hitting 1757, 1755, short start level will be good. And then if you want to push the trade, you could do, because yeah, I'll be expecting to go a lot lower. got some nice resistance here. We can look to aim for at 1730 as well. So yeah, gold shorts are looking very, very good. 1800 is looking like it's held. And we might not revisit that. We might just keep maintaining those short moves. So I'll be looking to see if I can short the rallies now. So if I can see some upside for gold, I do think we can, just step into some shorts when we see some good confirmations. Hey, welcome to the stream, Tim. Hope you are doing good. Any pairs you're looking at? Any pairs taking your fancy? But yeah, gold shorts. So yeah, I do agree with you there, Dorcas, but I do want to see a rally first. I want to see price rally to the upside, see some nice bullish momentum, and then I'll look to step into those shorts on that pullback. Right now, it's kind of consolidating. It hasn't really made up its mind for its next move. It could still bleed to the downside if it wanted to. So yeah, I wouldn't look to step into gold now. It's really in the buyer's territory of things. And I don't really want to be selling it into that support level there, especially in that range. So I'd rather price, give me a bit of retracement, 1773, 1783, and then we can look at shorting from there. But yeah, gold sales are still looking pretty good. And silver likewise as well. If silver can take out, hey, thank you so much for subscribing, much appreciated. If silver can take out this low here, that'll be big for me, and that'll tell me that silver, yeah, is most likely going to keep moving down. Look for a retest of this structure here, 20.24, and then from there I'll be expecting bigger move to the downside, because I'm still looking at silver coming back down to these lows here. Still looking at silver coming back down to those lows and maybe further, because again, gold and silver very, very similar in terms of direction and their moves. So if I'm expecting gold to go down, 9 times out of 10 I'm expecting silver to go down, and vice versa as well. So take out those lows, see the next lower high. Yeah, I'll look to short this to the downside. But again, I won't look to short gold and silver. I'll just pick which one's looking the best, because they both be the same really. So I don't need to trade both. But yeah, so USD CAD, I'm going to keep my eye peeled on that one to see what we do with this level at 1.29250. Looking at some of the yen pairs, I'm still looking to go long on some of these yen pairs, but I'm not liking how they've moved. I was talking about going long on ADJPY yesterday off this level of support, but you can see we actually broke through that support and retested it as resistance there. So obviously didn't get my criteria to go long, but I'm still looking at some upside for this one. I will stand corrected with my bias if we go and take out these lows. If we take these lows out, then I'll look to change my bias, and my upside bias is no longer valid, and I'll start looking for sells, back down to these lows if that's the case. So I'm still looking at longs. Market's definitely not quite set yet. It's looking like we are seeing some momentum come back in. So if you can see some retracement off the back of that, I'll look to get long from something like that. Maybe retest at this level again, and then I'll step back in and see if we can get push into this high and this high up there. But yeah, looking at longs for AJPY and JPY, similar things as well, but not quite set. Euro JPY, this one's stuck at some resistance, this high here. We did actually see some new highs just about with that wick, as you can see, but again, didn't really see a candle closure above. So Euro JPY is a bit interesting because we still do have that bearish structure. We still do have that bearish structure in place for Euro JPY. See the equal highs up there, lower high, potentially the next lower high, that could easily be the case. And obviously going on to the 4H time frame, you can see we've got the high up there, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we've come and made equal highs here. So the market is still, well, on the high time frames like weekly, monthly, the market is still predominantly bullish, but looking at the daily and 4H, we are bearish due to structure. So a little bit of contradiction here for Euro JPY. I'm finding that with a lot of JPY pairs, to be honest. So with this one, I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens next. I'm not jumping into shorts. I mean, if you are short, if you do have a seller's bias for this pair, then this is a great place to go short. Back at the previous slower swing, back at that resistance, you'd expect price to hold this structure if your bias is going to be correct. So this is a great place to go short. But like I said, I'm not completely convinced with the short bias just yet. And I'm leaning towards the more long bias for Euro JPY. And there's no real long for me there coming to that resistance. So yeah, there's nothing really for me to do with this one. But if you do break through this resistance strongly, then that could help out my bullish bias set stronger. But yeah, so far still just trading that resistance and struggling to break through. So we might see price maybe move back into this support, and then we'll see what happens from there. Pound yen still again respecting support as well. Like I said, for this one, wasn't completely convinced on the sells yesterday. Did see some nice downside, but I said that this is the area where you want to be taking profit, because I can see a reaction from this level and potentially this area there as well. Did see a pretty strong reaction there to the upside. And CAD yen as well, this one holding that support there, it is looking quite bullish. You can see we had 2 attempts to go bearish, one big push, formed that support, second big push, formed that support, came right back up instead. So I'm actually favoring CAD yen to continue higher. And for this one, we have actually taken out structure there with those highs. So I'm looking at CAD JPY pushing back into this resistance here at 106. So that's the move I'm looking at for CAD yen. Gold buy or sell now? I don't know, do whatever you want with gold. Is that support? You can buy it if you want. Again, you can see these are what I'm looking at. I wouldn't really touch gold right now because I've got a bearish bias. Right now for me, gold is just consolidating. I'm looking at price pushing to the downside back down to these lows here. So I'm only looking at selling gold really, and these are the two levels that interest me for sales: 1773, 1782, 83, 1782, 83. But yeah, as for gold now, it's just in the range, so there's nothing there for me. Up, down, nothing really too much to look into. You can sell it if you want to, you can buy if you want to, but those are the opportunities I'm looking at. It is coming to some support, so I wouldn't recommend selling, but at the same time I wouldn't really recommend buying either, because I do see these going further to the downside. So yeah, as for gold, no opportunity for me right now. Pound USD, we'll take a look. Pound USD. Yeah, so for this one, we did see some strong downside for Pound USD yesterday. Again, was looking to short it, but I decided not to because we didn't take out that low, but now we've gone to take out that low. So Pound USD was to push back into that same resistance again, which is that resistance there as well. I'll look to sell back into that same support, because now we've seen price actually take out the low, so it shows more evidence that price wants to go lower. But yeah, price is now at the support. So Pound USD is interesting because it's still stuck at this price structural low there on the left. It tried to get above once, tried to get above a second time, failed, and now it's coming back into that support there. So overall, Pound USD for me on the daily is still, still definitely a bearish market. As you can see, the market's still predominantly bearish, but it's just if this is a correction, or is this price trying to have a reversal. It's very, very choppy, so it does kind of it's a little bit hard to tell, but again, I'm still short on Pound USD as long as we stay below that 1.22 daily resistance, and this, we formed a nice little lower high there. So I wouldn't short, but I wouldn't long Pound USD either. I wouldn't short or long. We're at support here, so definitely wouldn't short Pound USD at this support. But I'm not too sure how far the buyers will go. We might see a push back into that level. If we do, that would be great, because I'll look to sell it back down from there. But I'm not too sure because the bears are slowly taking control. This is a strong support, so it's not a bad buy, but I just again don't see the market going too far. I could be wrong. If we break through this resistance, we could go very far, start attacking those highs again. But at the moment, I'm not too sure if I see that happening. If the DXY does go and break through that, then I'm expecting a lot more strength in the dollar. And at that point, I would not expect Pound USD to go much higher, and I expect Pound USD to fall. So yeah, with this one, Pound USD is at a really nice support. It's just about tapped into 1.2 big psychological level. So buys do look good, but manage the trade closely because I don't see this one go too far. Maybe to 1.212 up there, which is still a pretty big move to be fair. Still 70 pips, so still a decent move. Hey, thank you, Biggie Smalls. Much appreciated, my man. Much appreciated. But yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like. It does really help the channel out. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Join the fam if you're liking the content, finding it useful. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help the channel out, and obviously everyone is welcome. And yeah, hit the bell as well so don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, appreciate it, Biggie Smalls. So yeah, gonna see what's happening with the JPY pairs because I'm focused on some of them and the USD pairs. And by USD pairs, I mainly mean USD CAD and Pound USD. Euro USD is so messy right now, and I just need more price action really to understand what's actually happening with this one. It looks like it's getting ready to move lower, but I wouldn't really bet on it just yet. I kind of need to wait for a bit more price action before any trades look good to me. Maybe in the lower time frames, but from the time frames I'm looking at, yeah, I'm not really getting much from this one. That's just sideways to me, and this overall price action is fairly sideways as well. How is USD looking for the rest of the day? Looking at Philly Fed manufacturing index, since actual is greater. In terms of fundamentals, I have no idea, to be brutally honest. Let me actually go and take a look, because when I was looking yesterday, we did have some news coming out. Okay, so yeah, we do have. Okay, we actually got two. We actually got two announcements. So we got the jobless claims at 130. Yeah, we do have the Fed manufacturing index at 130 as well, and we do have existing home sales as well at 3. This is all London time, by the way. So we got a little speech later. Interesting. So yeah, there's a few news events. Again, what they're going to do and how they react, I'm just going to be monitoring the price action after it. So I'm not really looking too much at what happens in terms of the actual events. Really, I don't really factor that into my trading at all. If it's greater, then I expect that would be. I expect that to be good for the dollar, so we should see some upside, but whether that actually prints into the market is all depending on the participants and the psychology of the participant, because there's many times where you've been expecting good for the dollar, it's been great or whatever for the dollar, and it's actually come out as bearish in the market, so it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter, but it's not 100%, so even if it is a good thing for the dollar, it might not actually come out in the markets. It might start off bearish, it might continue to be bearish for the rest of the day, and then maybe see some upside later tomorrow. So the best thing to do, the only thing you can really be consistent with, is the price action, because if things are telling you to buy, you buy. If things are telling you to sell, then sell. You don't really want to go against what price action is telling you. So yeah, on that matter, I'll just wait to see what happens. You can wait for the news announcements, but make sure you do take a look at the price action, and I'll tell you what's actually happening in the markets alone. But yeah, I'm not really going to look too much into that announcement. I'll just be monitoring price action really. Pound CAD still looking quite bearish. I did get into a trade for this one on Monday. Did come against me for break even, as you can see there, but still looking like it's bleeding to the downside. Again, I would have looked to enter back into the trade, but I didn't quite come into my area of interest, which was this level here. I was looking for us to come back into that, and I would have based another trade from there. But we kind of just missed it by a few pips and went to the downside and closed bearish engulfing. So it didn't quite come back into my level, so I didn't actually get a re-entry signal. But it does look like price is still falling to the downside from that original entry. To be honest, again, I'm still expecting price to move lower for Pound CAD. That's my bias for the week, really. So at no point really I'm looking to buy unless we break through that resistance. If we clear this support level, then I would expect us just to lead to the downside back down to the lows there. But yeah, it looks like it is still pushing down quite nicely. I think CAD is still pretty strong. I'm looking at CAD pairs. USD CAD reacting quite strong. CAD Yen, AUD CAD as well. And USD JPY. Will you call a trade today? I don't know. I have no idea if I'll call a trade today. I can't see into the future. If I get a trade, then yeah, sure. If I get a trade, then I'll post in my Telegram. If you guys want to check out my Telegram, the link's in the description to that. But yeah, if I get a trade, I'll share it with you guys in the Telegram. If I don't get a trade, then you won't see me post a trade in the Telegram. Simple as that. I mean, I'm looking at some setups. Some setups could potentially form today, but if they do or not, that's completely up to the markets, and I just have to react accordingly. If there is, I'll look to get involved. If there isn't, then there's nothing for me to do really. There's no need to force a setup if there's no setup. So yeah, I mean, gold could look good if we see a push into that level of resistance. That would be nice. 1773, 1783. So that potentially could happen today. Could see two candlesticks going up quite nicely, or two or three candlesticks going up, and then get a nice entry signal, or maybe from up there as well. So that could happen maybe later in the York session, or it might even happen tomorrow. It might take its time. It might even get a signal tomorrow as well, tomorrow in London. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't see into the future. And the NZCHF and the ACHF have been all over the place for this one. I remember I was analysing these pairs and I was giving out some nice short calls for these ones. But yeah, they've been all over the place since then. They haven't really hit my target. So you can see here, ACHF looking to short to the downside. Did see some nice resistance briefly at that level, but it's just been all over the place, as you can see. And I've been talking about ADCHF and NZCHF quite a while. So this is the original call for ADCHF, I think. And you can see it's just been downside, hasn't still hit that target down there yet. It's still taking its time. So I've kind of given up hope a little bit. I still think it can roll over, but I'll probably just leave it alone. So yeah, that was my first call on ADCHF. And that was my first one for NZCHF, which has done the exact same thing as well. As you can see there, it tested the resistance quite nicely, so it did give some nice sells, but it's just gone sideways and it's nowhere near that target down there. So again, it could still slowly be looking to get there, but there are other pairs that look a lot better to trade, so not really focusing on them anymore. Seeing some upside now. They could potentially form the next lower high or something and then roll over. But yeah, I think I'll just leave them alone, to be fair. Maybe a push back up into this resistance, I might entertain a sell and just trade it as a range back down to the lows and then get out of the trade. Something like that could be a little bit interesting for NZCHF. and AUD-CHF as well. Probably just have to set an alert and forget about it because it might take a day or two to get up there. But yeah, no real opportunity off the back end of that. Looks like CHF is a little bit weak, or we've seen some strength with NZD or AUD. Yeah, it does look like CHF is a little bit weak. All the CHF pairs are seeing some nice upside. Interesting. But I think NZD and AUD are actually gaining some strength. So AUD is pushing quite strong right now. We're about to get a candle closure in the next 5 minutes or so. And that does tell me that momentum is coming back into the markets to the upside, which is a good thing because it means that price is showing intent at going in my direction. You can see the downside move is very, very corrective, which is not a very good sign. It means that we are going lower, yes, but we are struggling really to see that momentum come through. And now we're starting to see momentum come back into the chart. So if I can catch a high low somewhere, I'll look to get into those longs and take it higher. And again, I don't have to necessarily catch the bottom of this position because my long-term targets for this one are back at these highs here, and it's still a pretty fair move away from where we're trading currently, 280 pips or so. So yeah, it's still quite far to go. 480 JPY, but yeah, life is coming back into this one to the upside. So if I can get a pullback somewhere, I'll look to go long. Same with NZJPY. They're both very, very similar trades, similar setups. On the higher time frames, these guys are still looking quite bullish. You can see on the daily chart here, we had 3 attempts to go lower, 1, 2, and 3, and each time price just maintained that support. So I'm still looking at price pushing to the upside. Key resistance here at this level, 95,275, and I'm going to see what happens with that level there. Check Euro JPY if you can, of course. We'll have a look. So yeah, looking at pushing to 95,275 and maybe 96,859 if we can break through. But it looks like momentum is coming back to the bulls, so expecting this bullish leg here on the left to continue from that point there to the upside, which could see us at 98. But yeah, I'll take a look at Euro JPY. So yeah, Euro JPY, like I was saying before, trading at a very critical resistance, but with this one, again, I haven't quite made up my mind yet because I'm still quite bullish on the yen pairs. I can still see them go higher, but this is nowhere a place you want to go long for Euro JPY. Back into resistance here at 137,600. So if anything, shorts can be looking good for push down, and then maybe from there we can see some nice buys to go up, or potentially a break and retest as well. But yeah, Euro JPY, if anything, if we do see a nice bearish engulfing, that'll be some good shorts to the downside back into this high here. That's kind of like a first target, and then maybe that level there at 136.4 for the second target. But if you break through, then we'll take the retest into those highs down the left at 138.359. So really, this is your level of focus, 137.6. See what happens there. If you can break above that, then we can see something like this happen. If you see a nice bearish engulfing from that level, maybe on the next candle, that could be a nice confirmation to sell. Target 1, target 2. Price is really just dancing around this level here. Hasn't quite made up its mind of what it wants to do. 4H looking quite bullish, coming back into that resistance with all that momentum. But we'll see if that momentum can sustain. So yeah, Euro JPY is at a good level to short, but no real confirmation just yet. Wow, Euro Pound is falling. I was looking to short Euro Pound yesterday, but I didn't actually get a good entry for this one. The two levels I said to short from, which was at this level here and this level here, both of them broke to the upside very easily, so I didn't really get a an entry to short. We came a little bit high into this level, big wick to the upside. Looks like price is reacting quite well to that level there. So if that can maintain, look for the next low high, and it can continue those shorts. View on Euro USD. Okay, I'll have a look. 1.01075 for buying setup. What do you say? 1.010. So this price here, so you're talking about that low there on the left. Yeah, that could be, I mean, this is my general level of support, to be fair, for Euro USD. You can see this is where a lot of wicks have collected, so this is like the low of the range, but I'm mainly looking at this support here because that's where all the wicks have collected. So that's really where my main focus is, and at the average support. So if you're looking for buys, yeah, buys at lows of the range will always be good as long as price can hold the range. You know, 9 times out of 10 it's going to bounce from the lows. Might not necessarily, bit of a tongue twister there, didn't come out right. Might not necessarily move to the highs of the range, but you could get a 50% move, which is still, you know, very, very good. It will still bank you 70 odd pips, which is still decent. So for me, I'll look at longs from 1.01230, which is this area here, 1.01, call it 270 there. So this is kind of where I would focus my longs from. If I was looking to get long, which I'm not really looking to do, really, to be fair. I need a little bit more information before I look to trade Euro USD for that matter. But yeah, if you're looking to get long in Euro USD, that is the area that you would like to do it in. But yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for more candlesticks to be printed, more information before I do anything on Euro USD, because it's very, very messy for me right now, and I'm trying to map out my next swing, and I haven't quite worked it out yet. So I just need a bit more price action, a bit more information to do that. I'm favoring price to head lower, but at the moment nothing's confirmed yet. I'm also keeping my eye on DXY as well to see what we do, if we can break through that resistance there or not. So yeah, if you're looking to buy Euro USD, I would focus on this level here, 1.01270, and then yeah, 50%, 1.0199, and then the full kind of length up there is what I'd look at. But yeah, Euro USD is just far too messy for me to look into. I need price to clear up first. But yeah, how many pips are you looking for from that buy trade? How many pips are you looking for? You're looking for 10 pips, looking for 100 pips? Because that does determine, you know, the trade. Because if you're just looking to take like 20 pips off the table, then most likely you probably will see a 20 pip bounce from this level here, and you can probably take advantage of that. But if you're looking for like 100 more, I'll mainly focus on where price is concentrated around there. Hey, thank you so much. Definitely won't be able to pronounce your name, but much appreciated for subscribing. So yeah, Euro USD, very, very messy, but that's what I would focus on for some longs. US 30, hand same FX, sure thing, I'll go take a look. I took a sell on USD CAD. Okay, I'll have a little look. I'm actually looking to see, I'm actually focused on USD CAD as well, to be fair. Not trading currently, but looking to see if I can get a position sooner or later. But yeah, US 30. So US 30 still trading at some critical areas. 34, you know, big level that I've had my eye on for some time. As you can see, really nice level of support and resistance for US 30. And now we're back here again. So I'm looking to see if we can form our next low high. One up there, a second one there, potentially a third one there. connecting, this trend line here as well. So I'm looking to see if we can get back below that, form the next major low high, and a push to the downside for US30. But as things stand, things are still looking quite bullish. So those shorts that I'm talking about are definitely not in play just yet. I'm looking at the hourly, all I'm seeing is high low after high low. So I'm waiting for price to break some structure first. You can see the trend line here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All these high lows are still in place, and if anything, we could see another push to the upside if price just maintains that trend really. So I would look to get short and kind of trade that higher time frame bias I have if we can break through this kind of neckline that price is forming, left shoulder, head, and potential right shoulder potentially. So if we can snap through that neckline there and that trend line, that'll show me that the bears are back in control, and we can kind of get involved with some shorts going the opposite way and take advantage of a push into these lows, and maybe just see a massive lower high form and get a big drop to the downside. So that is definitely on the cards there, but first, like I said, I want to see price clear this level, and then that will tell me that okay, we're looking good to short and take this thing down. But at the moment, we're seeing positive reactions to that trend line and that support. So if anything, we could see another move back to the highs up here at 34,250. So this one, if you're not already in the trade, I would say wait for a pullback to get into the buys. And if we don't see that pullback and we just snap straight through, the sells are back in and we can take advantage of that. But this is a really nice textbook trend for US30 here. All the higher lows are in sync. And everything is still looking bullish. It's just that we're trading at some critical areas on the daily where we could reverse. So if we do break through the structure and break through the support, then we can take advantage of the sells. But everything's looking to the upside here. So 34,250 looking good. If you're not already in the trade, you would want to see a pullback first before getting long. But if you are long, that's where I'll take my profit. So US30, nice price action, nice and neat. But I'm more focused on the sells because of where we are. USD CAD, you said you took a sell on USD CAD. Wow, USD CAD really just bombed off in the past 30 seconds really. I remember we were looking at USD CAD like 10 minutes ago, if that, and we're trading around here and it's just big candle to the downside. So USD CAD is looking very, very bearish. I mean, like I said yesterday, it's still holding on to this resistance. I'm bearish below this level here. I'm bearish below this level and I'm bullish above that level. Yesterday closes a bullish candle, but just as a wick to the upside into that level. So it still hasn't broken through that resistance and it's still holding it. So I'm still technically bearish on the USD CAD and the DXY as well for that matter. Yesterday I wanted to see if I can catch a retest of this level of support and resistance and then catch some sells to the downside back down to these lows here. But obviously, as you can see, we did snap back above that, and then we had a successful retest later in the day as well. So now it looks like we could get back below. Obviously, we just closed into it, that previous candle. This could be just a wick, we don't know yet. But if we do get back below, that's when the shorts are back on for me, and I'll be looking for a retest to short to the downside. First target being back at these lows, maybe second target into this kind of structure there, but real target will be down at those lows. So I know you're probably looking for like 40, 50 pips, which we're pretty much almost doing, obviously depending on what your entry is. But USD CAD shorts, great place to place the shorts, really nice resistance. If you maintain that resistance, I expect us to drop a lot lower. So it's a good place for that. Momentum is coming into the charts, which is very, very interesting. So we'll see if we can break through that level of support, and then you can probably go and hit your targets off the back of that. USD CAD looking very bearish. Is this dollar weakness or is it CAD strength? A little bit of dollar weakness there. A little bit CAD strength as well. So it looks like a little bit of both. Euro CAD down and CAD up. NZJY, wow, it's a big candle as well. AJY, a big candle as well. So yen strength is coming back into play. Pound yen, big push to the upside. CAD yen, big push to the upside. Euro quite not. Euro's quite weak, I think. USJPY, not much either. CHF's quite weak. So yeah, with the yen pairs, no problem. Hand same FX, no problem. So yeah, with the JPY pairs, I'm still quite bullish on them. AJPY was the main pair I was looking at from them. If I go quickly onto my TradingView profile, you can see one of the setups that I said this week was AJPY longs. So we started off the week pretty bullish all the way up there, and I said some longs off the back of this support. As you can see, we kind of broke below and it looked a little bit off at one point, but the high lows are still intact. So I'm still looking to see if we can push higher and get back above and continue to the upside. So the buys are still what I'm mainly focused on. And now I see life coming back into the pair. I want to see if I can find some long opportunities. But yeah, we'll see. And I'm also looking at selling Pound Nzd as well. I do think for this one, price is still on its way down. And it's closed into that resistance. I'm still looking for us to come back down to these lows. But I just want to see some signs of reversal first before I entertain any sells. You can see price right now, higher highs and higher lows. Original low down there, higher high, higher low. That was off the back of some news. Then we've got higher high, higher low, and we've got equal high. So price is starting to slow down, but it is slowing down above my level. It'd be nice if it was below my level. So yeah, I want to see price maybe break through this, retest it, and then see some downside. Maybe a little bit of a head and shoulder setup could be nice. Something like this, left shoulder, kind of head, then right shoulder. It's kind of like in between the two highs, but it's the same concept of price. You know, formula higher high, equal highs, low high, reverse. Because this to me is just consolidation really. So I'm still looking at shorting Pound Nzd, but nothing just yet. Still above support. We could still push higher. The trend is still to the upside. We haven't actually broke structure yet, so we can still definitely fly to the upside if price wanted to. But I'm only focusing on the sells at the moment. So waiting for us to break through that structure, and then I'll entertain us coming back down, but nothing on just yet. Czech Oil, okay, no problem. Okay, so oil, had a bearish bias for this one for quite some time, looking for us to come back down into 75, which was still quite far away from, but we may still get there, which is this prior high there. We have broken through some key support of late, and actually had a retest of it as well. There, as you can see, nice little retest as price maintains respect to this trend line. So basically, as long as we maintain below that key daily support here, which is resistance, and below that trend line, still always going to be favoring the shorts to the downside, back down to 75. Price is very, very corrective and lacking a lot of momentum, so we could snap above that, see some upside, low high, and then drop. But yeah, price is still below this, so I'm still favoring shorts to the downside. I know we're at support right now, but if you can probably push maybe back into this resistance here, coming into the trend line there as well, that'd be a nice little short to take advantage of a move, at least back down into the lows there. Don't necessarily have to look for push down to 75, but snap higher and then a push to the downside makes a lot of sense. On the hourly, things are looking, you know, a little bit bullish here. We respected some lows, pushed up, formed some higher lows. So price is looking a little bit bullish there on the hourly off the back of that recent price action, but higher time frames are still pointing to the downside. So that's really still where we want to be, you know, trading towards, following the higher time frames and using the lower time frames to get us involved. So yeah, shorts from 92, pretty much on the dot. 92 look good, trendline confluence and that level there. A bit of a head and shoulder kind of setup as well, as you can see. left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder. So yeah, that's just more confidence to the trade. But yeah, coming to that trend line 92, shorts from there. Again, you can drop to the hourly time frame, take advantage of quite a nice drop to the downside, or you can look at getting out early, depending on how many pips you're looking for. But yeah, oil still bearish bias as long as we stay below that key daily resistance at 95 and that key daily trend line. So still bearish on it, unless we can snap above those, then we can start falling some buys. But yeah, so I'm expecting a bit more of a pullback to the upside for oil over the meantime. Maybe if you're already in buys, you can take advantage of that. But really, what I'd be looking for is the sells up there for another push back down again. But yeah, what's your bias for oil? Are you looking to buy, sell oil? Let us know. I don't really trade oil, but obviously price action is price action. So it's the same thing really over and over again. But yeah, I don't really trade oil. I'm quite satisfied with FX pairs at the moment. Maybe in the future. Hey, Umer, is that how you pronounce your name? Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Nadeem, I know I got your surname correct. Just followed me on, Telegram on TradingView. Wicked, love to see it. Yeah, guys, you can check me out on TradingView if you want to. My name is just Miko Aodu. Miko Aodu. Check it out if you want to. I just post my ideas there. But yeah, nothing really popping off at the moment. Pound Yen, I'll see if we can clear this resistance here. But like I said yesterday, the weekly chart, weekly's frying so many wicks into this support, as you can see. So many wicks. If I just count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 wicks into this level of support here. And that tells me that the weekly is trying to go lower, but momentum is just dying. So Pound Yen most likely will then break to the upside. If we can see some momentum occur, will break to the upside, because we've tried to go lower, numerous attempts, and yeah, I would expect the higher time frame momentum, which is still to the upside as well, to kick in and push us to the upside. I was expecting us to break to the downside and break through this support. That was my original bias. Had that for quite a while. I was speaking to you guys all about these lower highs here, but we've had numerous attempts to break to the downside, and price keeps failing. And because of the wicks on the weekly, I'm changing that bias and looking for price to actually continue higher. But I do want to see this resistance break. I do want to see that resistance break, because technically we still are forming these lower highs, and we could still definitely roll over. I'm not writing that off completely, but I do want to see us break through this resistance, and that'll tell me that, okay, the buyers are really in control now. This could just be a fake lower to now push us higher, and then off that we can base some nice longs and really push this to the upside. Because if this is going to fly, we've got multiple targets: target 1, target 2, target 3 to aim for. So get above that, retest it, and we can fly. Thank you, AP, much appreciated. Hi Gaia, welcome to the stream. Pound USD, of course, no problemo. George, any gold update, we'll have a little look see. Okay, so yeah, Pound USD. Oh, this price had a little breakout there. Wow, yes it has. That all happened in like the past 5 minutes or something. Let me go quickly check. Yeah, just 2 big candles, interesting. But yeah, Pound USD holding that support at 1.2. So I said for this one, we could see a nice little move into that resistance there at 1.212, which is this little level going through the market like so. We reacted with this one yesterday, nice move to the downside. We could see us revisit that resistance. But overall, Pound USD is a very dodgy pair as of late, not in general. It's a very good pair. It's treating me well. But yeah, Pound USD at the support is a lot of wicks at the support. So the price is obviously struggling to move lower. And we just had a really big wick to the downside there on the 4H chart of the last 4H candle into that support, and price is now ripped back to the upside. So it's telling me that Pound USD is trying to move lower, but we're so far still rejecting that support. So we could see a push back into 1.212 up into this level here, and then from there we'll see what happens with Pound USD, because I'm still trying to make up my next judgment for the next swing, the next big swing for Pound USD. As for intraday or day trading, buys still look good for pushing to that resistance there, where again we could actually come straight back down again. So sells probably will still look good there. We'll see what type of price action we can get, but I'll still favor Pound USD to respect the support and head to that. So if you're not already long, I would say for this one, probably want to drop to the low time frames, wait for some retracement to get in, but ideally you probably already want to be in this trade here, because now we're seeing the momentum. You don't want to be entering the trade now after that push. You can do if you want, but your stop loss has got to be below those lows, so it's going to be pretty big, and the risk towards going to be a bit skewed. You know, you're going to be risking 86 pips to gain 53, so it doesn't really make too much sense. And you're kind of entering the middle of a range as well. You know, there's a little bit of a level of support here that is kind of flipped as resistance as well. So not the best place to enter the market. Ideally you want to enter the market down here, but in terms of direction and bias, I would expect Pound USD to head a little bit higher back into 1.212. Then from there we might see some sells to come straight back down again. But that's all I've got for this. And if I have a little look-see at gold, so yeah, gold's still short bias for gold, still expecting us to come back down again. Oh, looks like gold's breaking to the upside a little bit, which is a good sign. Again, gold, we've been ripping to the downside, but my overall higher time frame analysis is still that same for gold. We've been printing these lower highs here. Originally one up there on the daily, and then a second one there, and then a third one, and now potentially a fourth one at 1800. So my targets are still at 1700 all the way down there. I still do see price heading a lot lower, but we just need to find some good entries to take advantage of that, if that is indeed going to be our next lower high. So I do want to see price pull back. 1773, 1783 is where I'm looking at some shorts from. Ideally, I'd actually like to see price respect this level and then short. This could still be a good short, but I want to price move a little bit higher, just so the risk towards a little bit better, and it gives a little bit more room for the trade to breathe, because we are just breaking out that consolidation right now. But like I said, I'm still looking at a push into this level here originally, which is 1755, and then we potentially could see 1730, and then finally 1680 all the way down there. But yeah, short bias on gold. We've held 1800, as you can see up there. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 stabs into 1800, reversed. Now I just want to see that continuation happen, and if we break through this resistance, we'll break in structure, and at that point we can take some buys in the opposite direction. But that's really what I'm looking at for gold. How long have you been trading Forex? I've been trading Forex, well, I originally got into Forex a little over 5 years ago. That's when I first got introduced, but I've been fully going at Forex for the past 4 years. The first kind of year and a bit, I was a little bit on and off, but yeah, that's when I first you got introduced to Forex. So yeah, a little while ago. AUSD, haven't actually looked at that pair yet. Let's see what's going on. Okay, where is AUSD? There you are. Okay, so yeah, AUSD, we've actually been bleeding to the downside this week. Again, if you haven't checked out my weekly analysis, feel free to go and do that. It's on my channel for the week. But I've been talking about some shorts for AUSD coming into the week. So we're coming into this prior weekly low here and 0.71. So I said if we can respect this weekly support, term resistance, there could be some nice shorts for AUSD. I wasn't expecting us to completely dive like that, like we've just done. I was expecting us to maybe gradually build up a little bit, and then we can find some shorts. Yeah, we completely just dropped to the downside very, very early, and we continue to fall ever since then. I'm still overall bearish on AUD/USD. Higher time frames are still telling me to sell, so I'm still looking at us coming back down to 0.67 eventually. But we might be seeing some upside beforehand. I mean, if you look at the structure of recent price action, it is still technically bullish. You know, you can see the high, the low, the high, potentially new low there as well. But after that price action there, I'll be favoring some shorts, and specifically looking at two areas to short it from. So first area being 0.69948, which is just underneath 0.7. Then second area 0.70418. So those are the two levels I would look to short AUD/USD, and targets would be back at this low here. Potentially could see price come to those lows, but we'll take it a step at a time. No need to overdo our targets really. So yeah, coming into this high here, a little bit more upside, shorts from there, back to the downside, basically where we came from, or shorts from there, 0.70400. So we've had a really big sell-off, and that tells me that even though we did see a huge pump to the upside, that kind of pump was almost false and a bit short-lived there. So I would expect us to find resistance sooner or later and roll back over again, and continue that bearish momentum and higher time frame trend as well. So yeah, those are the two levels I'll focus on for shorts. Right now, I wouldn't do anything for AU. I wouldn't look to buy. I'm not really bullish on the pair. In fact, if you were looking to buy, you probably already want to be in the trade from down here. But for me, only eyes for sales right now. So yeah, 0.69950, 0.70400 is where I look to sell this back down again. So hopefully that analysis helped. If it didn't, or didn't understand anything, let me know in the chat, and I'll quickly run through it again. Hey Lauda, welcome to the stream. Just join. Can you check out USD JPY and USDC CHF? No problemo. We'll have a little look see. Do you trade S&P 500? No, I do not. I can look at it for you if you want me to take a look at the S&P. I'll have a little look. I mean, I do analyze indices. When I mean indices, I really just mean US 30. But I'll take a look, see if you want me to. But yeah, I don't think I've ever actually traded S&P 500. So yeah, USD JPY, and now take a look at USDC CHF. So yeah, USD JPY, we're actually seeing some upside. Price respected this support, and it's just been pushing to the upside since then. Again, coming into the week, I was actually looking for a potential head and shoulder to form. So I've got the old little left shoulder there, the head, and potential right shoulder. But coming into the week, when I saw this price action here develop, it told me that the head and shoulder probably wouldn't happen, because we've had this huge sell-off off the back of some news last week. And normally when you get these sell-offs, they're either very misleading, or this is the start of a new trend. Because when you see momentum like that, it's like saying prices like, okay, we've done what we need to do, now we're going to start forming the next trend. Or it's just a false move, getting people excited, selling as this is going down, and now we kind of trap them as prices kind of retrace back up. So this price was either doing those one or two things, and after I saw this happen, we saw a nice push. I was looking to see if we can continue this momentum, and then I would look to sell. But we formed this push here, and the second push, which told me that price is trying to go bearish, but failing to do so, and that's when the bull stepped back in. So we've climbed higher, and we're still pushing. So I'm looking for us to return to 136,500, which is this resistance up here. So if USD/JPY is going to sell off, that's where I think we have a good chance for doing it from. If not, we could actually still head back to highs, because remember, this is still a very bullish market, at least from the higher time frame. So yeah, for this one, trend is still intact to the upside. Ideally, you want to see a pullback, a retracement, and then price continue to the upside. A retest of this level would be nice. Prior resistance now we turn support. So if it's come and retest that could be a nice little place to go long, and see the next drive to the upside. We do have some nice confluence of a little trend line there as well. We'll have to see what type of price action we get as well, but the higher highs and higher lows are all still intact. So I'll be favoring 136.5 for USD JPY probably by next week. I'm not too sure we'll do it this week, but yeah, more upside for this one. Are you trading SMC or something else? No, I do not trade smart money concept. I trade price action. Well, smart money concept is price action as well, but I trade support, resistance, structure, trend, momentum. Yeah, it's pretty much what I trade. It's basically confluence-based trading, so looking at probability of price moving one way, stacking multiple reasons why price can move a certain direction or to a certain target, and then that's the trade I take. So yeah, I'm pretty much just using confluence between structure, multi-time frame analysis, trend, support, resistance, and just using simple patterns, bring that together and working out some good probability of where price could go. And then yeah, that's kind of how I base my trading. I don't use SMC. I've never really learned that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn it. You can do whatever you want, but yeah, I do not trade SMC. Hey, what's up, King C? Welcome to the stream, bro. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well. Hello, Jess. Welcome to the stream. Any pairs you guys are looking at, feel free to let me know. I'll take a look at it. Comment peeps, like this stream. Hey, thanks, King C. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like. It does really help the channel out. Really, I'm grateful for all of that. And if you do want to join the stream, finding it useful, please be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. I do stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. London time, UTC +1. I just break down the charts, share my trades. You guys share your trades if you want to as well, and your setups and what you're looking for. And yeah, we just discuss. But yeah, any pairs, let me know. Always love simplicity of the analysis. Thank you so much, Mikey. Much appreciated. Please could you explain in simple terms what does going short do? How does one make profit in a bearish trend? I'm new to this. Well, it's different because we're doing CFD trading here. It's not essentially where, because in Forex we can profit off price going to the upside and to the downside. So with USD JPY, for example, if we're going long, we're expecting the dollar to, respecting the what's the word again? Respecting the, what's the word? Oh, I completely forgot the word. We're respecting basically the rate between the dollar and the yen. The rate between them, we're expecting that to increase. So if we're expecting the dollar to gain strength against the yen, which is why we're buying the pair. If we're shorting the pair, we're doing the exact opposite. We're expecting the yen to gain strength against the dollar and the rate between them to decrease. I forget what the rate is called, but it's the top of my head, but I forget. But yeah, basically, if we're going long, we're expecting the strength of the dollar to increase against the strength of the yen, and vice versa. If we're going short, it's not necessarily where we're buying and selling stocks or something like that. It's Forex. We can, well, even stocks as well, but we're taking advantage of basically the currency strength fluctuating between different periods. And thank you so much for subscribing. I didn't quite see your name, but thank you, much appreciated. What do I think about Pound JPY? Yeah, we'll go and have a little look. See, no problemo. Pound USD, CHFG, so many comments. I'll get to it eventually, but you're gonna have to bear with me, guys. I can only do so much at one time. But yeah, I'll start with Pound Yen, and I'll move on to Pound USD and CHFJPY. I like and shared. Hey, thank you so much, Dylan. Dylan Thomas. Thank you so much. Love to see that. Love to see that. Okay, so yeah, pound yen. So for this one, I'm actually favoring pound yen to continue higher to the upside. I'm looking at the weekly time frame, and all I'm seeing here is a whole, I can't draw, but a whole bunch of wicks into this area. So I've been favoring pound yen to roll over quite some time, but we've had so much trouble doing that. You can see every time we roll over, so wick to the downside, so much rejection into the support. And because of the trend, the higher time frame trend, weekly, monthly, still to the upside, I'm favoring pound yen to actually push higher. But I do want to see price break through structure first, which is this resistance here. So if price can get above this resistance here, longs will be looking good. And as you can see with the kind of pink reddish lines, those are my targets for pound yen to the upside. But I do want to see us break through this, shows that the buyers are back in control, and then we can push higher. Because as of right now, I'm looking at this being the next higher low from that low up there. And if there is going to be the next higher low, we need to see a higher high, simple as that. And breaking through that resistance is what I want to see price do. So I'm no longer really looking to short pound yen. Maybe if things develop and structure changes, I'll look to maybe change my bias. But yeah, I'm only looking at this one climbing higher right now. I did say yesterday shorts would be looking good here, but I wouldn't look past this level. I said this would be a good first target, and that'll be a good second target, because buyers look good to step in, and you can see they did this morning. So I'm looking to see if they can break through that resistance, and if they can, I'll look to follow that behind it and get in a pullback somewhere and trade it to those areas. So I know pound yen is still giving us those lower lows and lower highs, but I don't favor it to continue. Pound USD. Okay, let's take a look at pound USD. So yeah, pound, we did see some nice downside yesterday. We were talking about pound a little bit, and I said if we do respect that level there, could be some nice shorts. And yeah, did actually see some nice shorts. I didn't enter because I wasn't fully confident on it, because we didn't take out the lows originally, so I wasn't really fully confident on shorting it. On hindsight, maybe I should have still looked for the shorts, and I probably overthought it a little bit too much. But at the same time, we're still holding that support, and we're forming a little bit of a range for pound USD. This support, we formed it once, tried to break it a second time, failed, and tried to break it for a third time, failed. So I do think for pound we can see some nice upside, potentially back until 1.212, but maybe from that resistance we come straight back down again and just form that range, because pound is very choppy at the moment. It's still failing to break through this prior structural low term resistance at 1.22. Hey, thank you so much everyone for subscribing, much appreciated. But yeah, we're still failing to break through this resistance here. So right now I do have a short bias for pound overall, but we're in a range, so basically looking to buy low, sell high really. If we can hold that support, looking for a drive into there, and if you're looking for sales, 1.212 is the place to do it. In here it's just very messy, and I'll kind of avoid placing trades in this area. Looking to go long from down there and short from up there gives you a nice safe place to put your stop loss, and a great place for entries as well. So that's what I'm looking at for pound USD. Hey IK, welcome to the stream. Any pairs you're looking at? Looking for sales in GJ, need more confirmation. Yeah, I mean the sales are still there because the structure is still intact, but like I said, I'm no longer really bearish on this, so I'm actually waiting to see if we can break through that structure. But again, same for me with the buyers. I'm waiting for more confirmation before I do get long, because I need to see price break through that, which will take a fair doing. We need to see a lot of momentum to break through that resistance, and if we end up breaking to the downside and maybe even taking out these lows here, that'll show me that the bears are actually taking control. We might see something like this happen and us roll over. In that case, yeah, I'll look to get short on the pullback. Nice little retest. So yeah, need more confirmation for the longs as well. Nothing's really concrete yet. We're still trading at that resistance. We could still roll over, but I'm not really looking to go short just yet, or go long for that matter. CAD Yen, we'll have a look at CAD Yen, no problem. You shot up high. It's at an area of support, but I didn't see there be any news. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was news, any big news at least. I was looking at the news early, so yeah, there wasn't really any news, but price action sometimes do that. Again, it's all about participants in the market. anything can happen at any time. Don't necessarily need a big news announcement to create big spikes like that. Gold, sure thing, no problemo. I'll look at CAD yen and I'll go into gold. And then I'll take a look at Euro USD, no problem. But yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like on the stream. I do appreciate that. That's not CAD yen, that's CAD yen. So yeah, CAD yen for me, I'm actually looking at more upside for this one. Originally short bias for this one coming into the week, but for me structure has broken through and that's changed everything. You can see we've had really good sell-offs. Again, that was the news last week, and then was that this week? Yeah, this week we kind of dropped again very early on. But each time we had this big sell-off, price, all it did just find support. Big sell-off, find support. Big sell-off, find support, and shot up in another direction. So if this thing was going to roll over and come back down to these lows, you should have seen that by now. But price has still maintained the bullish momentum, and it's actually formed some higher highs past that point. So as long as we can hold 104.253, I'm looking at 106 up there, because this is where the higher lows are collecting. So as long as we can respect that, I do see us heading to the upside for CAD yen. So buys for this one, I would say look good at this support. We are coming to resistance here, so buys up there is a no-no. And I would say if you're looking at selling, you can sell from this resistance. It does make sense, but I think the better opportunity is to wait for us to break through this low here and then look for your sells on the retest. That gives you a much high probability, if that's the word, more probable, you know what I mean, a better opportunity to trade in terms of risk, because if we can break through that support, it shows that the buyers can't hold it, sellers are taking back control, and that we respect that resistance. So a break and retest of that makes a whole lot of sense. Going short here does look good, but I think it will be short-lived and price will just break through. So if you can clear that, nice break and retest, and you can probably short it all the way back down to those lows at that point. But yeah, for CAD yen, I do see this one heading higher. That's my bias. So if you're going to look to follow that, longs from this support, if you can come back down and retest it, would be nice. And yeah, a push back into 106 is what I'm looking at. I'll move on to gold and I'll take a look at Euro USD. So yeah, gold, I'm looking at price heading to the downside for this one. I'm still looking at that major lower high forming on the daily chart. So if I zoom out real quick, you can see we've got a high up there, next lower high over there, next lower high over there, and potentially the next lower high over there. So I'm still short bias, looking to continue that momentum to the downside. We did see price reject 1800 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, broke to the downside through those lows, and now we've actually taken those lows out as well. So what I'm looking for is essentially a pullback and then the continuation, and we've been consolidating for the past few hours, and it looks like we're now getting that pullback. Preferably speaking, I want price to push up into this level here at 1782, but we might respect this level and fall off. So either one of these levels will be a great place to short from, and targets being at this low here, which we haven't tested yet, at 1755. So that's what I'm looking at for gold. We had the push to downside, breaking through structure, looking for the pullback and the continuation. If I do whip out the old Fibonacci tool, you can see we do have a nice confluence at that area as well, between 0.5 and 0.618. Nice little zone if we can retrace there. Excuse me, nice little zone if you can retrace there. Got the confluence, and yeah, take some shorts off the back of that. So I'm favoring price pulling up into that level, but at the same time we might not. We might be far too bearish. We could just form a lower high here and drop. So that's why I've mapped out that level there as well. But yeah, gold, I'm still looking at us coming lower. Euro USD, okay, I'll get onto that one. Hey, how to take entry on breakout? Excuse me, my throat's a little bit dry. Yeah, I don't trade breakouts, so not the right person to ask. Haven't really had much luck from breakouts. I always prefer price coming against me and then going against the price. Not taking reversals, but waiting for a pullback to happen in line with the trend. and going with that rather than taking breakouts of lows or highs. I'm not saying that's not a good way to trade, but predominantly speaking, most breakouts are false. So if you're trading a breakout strategy, you're always going to have to be up against it, and you're going to need to have a good solid strategy in place if you're going to look to profit from that long term. So there are people out there who trade breakouts, and those are the people you probably want to ask. But for me, for breakouts, I wait for the retest. So if there's a level here and price breaks through to the upside, I'm always going to wait for a retest of structure first, and then from there is when I'm going to go long, because then I'm seeing pricing pull back against me, and then that's when I want to go long and go back against price and see that trend continue. But I'm never really going to take, if price just closes above, I'll never really take a buy because of that. That's not really my type of style, and that's not really my type of trading. So yeah, if you're going to take a breakout, a retest of structure, a retest of whatever price is breaking out of, basically. But yeah, I'll never really trade a breakout on its own. Euro USD. So yeah, Euro USD, like I said throughout the whole stream, really, it's just very, very messy, and I need more information before I base my next trade. It's just very up and down. As you can see, we did get the break to the upside, but it turned out to be false, and price came straight back down again. So I'm actually looking to see if we can come back to the upside, respect this, and then come back down and form a little bit of a head and shoulder with this false breakout, which would be nice. So that's preferably where I would like to see price move to, but at the moment it's really struggling to get there, and it's kind of just consolidating within the consolidation of that range. So it's ranging within a range which is really, really messy. So for me, I'm not really looking at getting involved. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing, much appreciated. But yeah, for me, for Euro USD, I'm just waiting for more information. If you really want to trade it, buys from this zone here at 1.012 do look good, because it's the low of the range, and essentially as long as we hold that, I'll be expecting a push to the upside. This kind of pink line going through here is like the 50% of the range, which is automatically a great place to buy into. So if you come back and respect it again, a push into 50% of the range is a good place to target, because sometimes you don't always see a completion of the range all the way to the high. So 50% is a good target to maybe take partials, then leave the rest to run, or just exit the trade completely if you want to. But 50%, I've got around 1.0199. So if you can hold that, buys there look good. But other than that, I'm not really seeing much for Euro USD. I'm waiting for some more price action before I start looking to trade it. It's just too messy, and it's difficult to find out the next true move for this one. So yeah, I'm waiting for a bit more price action, and then I'll have a look. CHFJPY, I forgot to take a look at that one, so I'll get back onto that in a second. CHFJPY, where are you? Okay, so I'll take a look at this one, and I'll move on to and we'll got Pound Nzd. I'll move into that one next. But yeah, I'll have a little look at Pound Nzd. How many trades? I think they will take liquidity on GJ 160 before pushing. Just have to wait and see what it does. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait to see if we can break the resistance, really. Other than that, I'm not too bothered. If it starts rolling over to the downside, then we're gonna look to see what we can do, if we can take out these lows here, and then I'll see what we can do after that. But for me, for my buys to really set in, that resistance breaks. But yeah, CHFJPY, again, another yen pair. This one is trading at a very important level, because we've got resistance running through the price like this, and we're still struggling to break through. As you can see, multiple daily wicks to the upside, so we're really struggling to break through, and all we're getting here is high, lower high, potentially third lower high for a drive lower. So we could be looking at a big bearish leg to the downside for CHFJPY, but it's up to you how you want to trade it. You can look to short from here, reason being we're at resistance, so it makes perfect sense. Bit of a trend line confluence there as well, so it makes complete sense there to look to go short from this area. But it's just slightly aggressive, because we know the higher time frame trend is still very much to the upside. As you can see, it's very, very bullish for CHFJPY. So higher time frame trend normally does win, but again, doesn't have to win every time. This could be the time it does fail out of that resistance. So you can be looking for some shorts up around this area. It's just going to be slightly risky, and just depends how many pips you are looking for, really. You could probably catch maybe a move into this support there, something like that, which is still 60 odd pips, which is not bad. But for me to actually map out the next swing for CHF JPY, I do want to see the support level cleared here, because if you can clear that support, then I'm expecting CHF JPY to collapse back down to these lows here. So that gives us a really good long-term bias to trade with, because it tells us where we're going in the long term. So if you can clear 140.500, you know, the days after that, you're just pretty much looking to short all the rallies really, as we work our way down to these lows and maybe even further as well. So that's what I'm looking at for CHF JPY. We're trading at a critical level of resistance, still struggling to break through. A lot of wicks down the daily, could see a nice move to the downside. If we break out all of a sudden, then we're going to probably head to these highs up there on the left at 143.719. So if you do break out the trend line and out of that zone, you know, a little retest, that's where we're probably going to head towards. But yeah, trading at resistance still, so still favoring the shorts until we break through. How many trades do I take a week? So my name is actually Miko, not Mike. But how many trades do I take a week? Average around 3. I would say 3 trades is a good little soft spot for me. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on the pairs I'm trading and, you know, if it's looking good or not. But I'll say average 3, and I found 3 is a nice amount for me. It's not too much, not too little. Pound CHF, I'm going to take a look at that. Could you put your camera to the top right side and not left side? Shares, sorry, it's going to prepare. Okay, I mean, I do have the, what's it called, the watermark on the screen there, which has got the pair and I'm forgetting my words today. The pair and the time frame. I'll make that darker. If that helps, but yeah, I mean, I could move it to for the next stream, which will be next week. But yeah, I'm not going to move it during the stream because there's a little bit of effort, and I'm going to have to drag the little box around it as well. But I do have the watermark behind it, so yeah, hopefully that does help. But yeah, Pound CHF, I have a little look see at that one. We're looking at that one early in the stream. So yeah, Pound CHF, have seen some upside for this, but again, still predominantly bearish, very bearish. I do actually think we're eventually going to take out these COVID lows. I do think we're going to take out these COVID lows all the way down here, which is at 1.11162. So I do think we're eventually going to take out those lows. If we do stay below 1.17, that's where I do see us traveling towards for Pound CHF. Daily time frame, all looking bearish, 4H as well. We're seeing a nice pullback, so I'm looking to see what we do here. I'm looking to see what we do here if we retest it and then go and roll over again. Seeing some nice upside. Someone was buying this one early, so I did say look, take some profit around these areas because we could still roll over. So you have to be careful because of that. But yeah, Pound CHF still bearish for me for this one long term as well. Stay below 1.17, still looking to short this guy back down. I think the index will tank soon. You think DXY is in the tank? I mean, still respecting that resistance, so it could do. It's a little bit weird because it's still respecting the same resistance, which is this over here. You know, that 1, 2, almost 3, and 4 and 5 coming into here. So that resistance is where I'm still kind of bearish below. So as long as price still respects this resistance, I'm still bearish for the DXY. If we can take out this support here, that will really give us a lot of confidence that okay, price is actually gonna take a big dive now and probably come back down to these lows and maybe even a lot lower as well. So what I'm really looking to see is if we can take out 106.400, take out that, then I do think the shorts are going to come thick and fast for the DXY. If you break through that, then yeah, I'm afraid most likely going to go bullish because we're breaking through structure at that point, and I'll expect us to head back to those highs. So really what we're doing right now is kind of just ranging, making up our mind what we're going to do next. I just want to see which way we go. But yeah, still stuck at the resistance, so I'm still favoring the shorts over the longs. Sorry, okay, yeah, no problem. Dylan, happy to help. Hey Rayan, welcome to the stream. Euro pound, of course. GU and Euro USD, of course. No problemo. Euro pound we haven't looked at yet. What's Euro pound doing? Okay, Euro pound actually we have looked at. Short memory, my bad. So yeah, Euro pound for this one. I was looking at shorts yesterday for this one because the daily time frame is still giving us those lower highs. So I'm still looking at us coming down unless we break through structure, of course. So we form that high over there, lower high, looking at potentially another lower high, for another drive to the downside. So the two areas I was looking to short at was 1 and 2, but we broke through both of them yesterday. We just rallied straight through, and we tapped into this area, which I just shorted in today, which would have been a nice sell, but to be fair, it's a little bit deceiving because we can still potentially head to the upside, because if this is the next high low, I would expect us to climb back above this trend line and start heading to the upside. So I'm actually just waiting for a bit more price action for Euro pound before I make my next move, because I'm still looking at this being our next lower high. This could be our next lower high from that one there. But I just want to see if you can form a lower high off the back of it. So if you retest that, sells there would look good. If you start breaking through that, then yeah, we're going to head higher. And targets for this one would be this prior high. If we're going to 4H, would be this prior high over there. So if we do start maintaining those high highs and high lows, break above this resistance here, then yeah, I'll be looking at price heading all the way up to those highs. So with Euro pound, I'm just waiting for more price action, because if you break through 0.846, that'll be a good short, good long, sorry. And if you respect it, it'll be a good short to come back down at the same time. So I'm just waiting to see what we do next. But yeah, I'll favor price to actually break above, but we'll see what we can do at that level. Look at the dollar. If the dollar flies, the index will tank. Yeah, I think it will as well. US 30 is very, very overstretched. Very, very overstretched as well on the higher time frames, and the weekly as well, very overstretched. And we're coming to a very key level as well. Was very strong support for us. Now time resistance. If we hold that, we could tank. And yeah, if dollar does fly, yeah, these guys are going to come down again. But yeah, I'll take a look at Pound USD and Euro. Please help on Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD and Pound USD seem to be very popular today. If we see an inverted head and shoulder, we could start break to the upside for sure. We need to be patient, 100%. Patience is everything. Okay, so are you looking for a inverted head and shoulder? So are you looking for this to form? Left shoulder there, head, right shoulder. Is that the inverted head and shoulder you're looking at for? In that case, you probably want to see a break of that 0.846 level, and then some shorts off the back of that would look good. So that could look decent there. But yeah, probably want a bit more information first. But yeah, Euro USD and Pound USD, like I've been saying all stream, is very, very choppy, very, very choppy. Euro USD, I need a bit more information before. Where is Euro USD? There we go. I need a bit more information before I look to do anything with this one. It's in a range, as you can see. It was previously in a range. It broke to the upside. This turned out to be a big false breakout, and we crept back inside the range. So overall, Euro USD is very, very messy, and right now it's kind of consolidating within the consolidation. So there's not much to do here. Buys will still look good from the lows to the high, to the mid range of the consolidation. So this pink red line is 50% of the range. You can look to buy from the low to the 50% and take your profit there. That's a good idea for a trade. But at the moment, we're kind of just floating there. It's doing nothing really. So for me, Euro USD is probably waiting for some news to get it going again, because it's kind of stuck. It's kind of stuck and it needs to do something. So yeah, I'm personally waiting for more price action, more information before I base a trade in Euro USD. Because yeah, Euro USD is messy. I mean, when it's like this, the only thing you want to do is wait. You know, that does not look like good price action to trade at all. So when price action is moving like this, you know, even inside of another range, you just want to wait and not you know, risk anything, because there's no real point really. Pound USD similar, although that one's flowing a little bit better, but similar in terms of we are kind of starting to creep into a range as well. But yeah, for pound, I'm looking for a leg to the upside and potentially a leg back down if you can respect that at 1.212. This resistance coming through there, nice short stay yesterday. Looks like we could come back and revisit it again today, and then from there roll over back down to 1.2, which is, you know, this level of support. So for pound, I've got a range. This does look a little bit cleaner. Ideally, kind of really want to be in this trade at these lows, not jumping in at the highs here. So if you see another retest and respect it again, that could be a nice long. And same here, nice shorts if you do see some nice price action to come back down. But again, all I can see now for pound is a bit of a range. If you can break through this support here, floodgates could potentially open up for pound, and we can see a nice little downtrend forming, potentially back down to these lows. So the break and retest shorts would look good, but obviously we have to break through that support first, which we'll probably need to wait a little bit for that to happen. But as of right now, yeah, there's no real opportunity I can see on pound. USJPY, okay, where did our anchor start? What do you mean, where did the anchor start? What's an anchor? Okay guys, welcome to the end of the stream, but I'll quickly go over USJPY since you did sneak that little comment in there. So I'll have a look at USJPY. And for this one, I'm still favoring price to head to the upside. Really, we formed this higher trend, this 4H trend to the upside. I'm looking at that continuing higher to 136.5 into this daily resistance here on the left. That's what I'm looking at USJPY heading towards. So if you can respect that level there, which is basically this level of support on the hourly, resistance support, if you can respect it there, nice little trend line confluence, looking at going long for another push to the upside into 136.5. So really for this one, you want to see a pullback happen. Right now there's not a lot to go off with, but if you can see a nice healthy pullback, nice high low, nice rejection into that 134.500 level, buys will look good to 136.5. Break through that structure, then sells. I'll be focusing on sales, but as of right now, we're still respecting that. So I do see us moving to the upside. Okay, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, well guys, welcome to the end of the stream. No problem, happy to tell. Peak of the ID50. Peak of the ID50, what's the ID50? I don't know if I'm just not reading it correct, but yeah, thank you so much, Nina, for subscribing. Yeah, what is the ID50? Bro, I was in GU sales from 1.205 at 10 AM. I just was 100 profit, then it just pushed back out of nowhere. Went from 10 to, yeah, I mean, the market's always going to do that. It's not always going to be a smooth sailing. Sometimes it is a smooth sailing trade to your profit target, but not all the time. It's going to pull back, it's going to retrace, it's going to consolidate, it's going to mess around, which is why I'm a big advocate of taking partials and taking profit in your trades, because at least you can bank some, you know, actual tangible profit and secure that into your account. Because floating profit looks good on your phone screen, on your laptop, it looks good, floating profit looks great, but you do want to bank that, because floating profit can easily be taken away from you in one big move, especially in the lower time frames where moves can happen very, very quickly out of nothing. So you want to be making sure you are, closing profit, taking some partials out. Didn't have to close much, maybe 20 or 25%, just to make sure that, okay, whatever happens, there's profit in the account from the trade. It might not be the biggest amount, but it's something to start with. So yeah, make sure you do take some partials when you take your trades before your full TP. Normally would have went out, but I was like, no, this time I stay consistent and wait for my TP. That's what you that's where you set multiple TPs. I set 2, sometimes 3, depending on how far I'm pushing the trade. Multiple TPs. I do have to advocate though, saying that waiting for your full TP to play out is definitely something you want to do, because when you're trading and say you take a bunch of losers, just a few winners, a few good winners, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 potentially, could just wipe out those winners. You could take 10 losers, and if you take 2 1 to 4s, you've wiped out most of that loss. So waiting for the full targets is a good thing, but also even better is taking the partials as you get there, so you make sure you're taking profit as the trade continues. And again, nothing's 100%. The chance of price getting to a 1 to 4, is not as probable as a price getting to a 1 as your trade getting to a 1 to 1. So you want to make sure you're taking profit and set yourself multiple targets. So when it gets to your first target, you take a little bit of profit, maybe second target, a little bit more, and then you leave the rest to go and hit the full target. Yeah, and if it does that, happy days. If it doesn't, at least you got something to show for the trade. And it does good for your psychology as well, because even though not taking profit and just holding out for the full move means you can bank more profit, obviously, because if you do take partials, you're not going to bank as much as you would if you didn't. But it's good for your psychology, because at the end of the day, you can always look back to your account and say, okay, there is some profit there. Use that momentum to keep you going. You don't necessarily have to look for perfection every time. Thank you for your time. No problem. Then happy to help. If you guys have enjoyed the stream, be sure to subscribe. If you haven't done already, be sure to subscribe. I will be live again next week, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, same time as usual, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. London session. Not London session, London time. It's a little bit after London session, but yeah, London time, UTC +1, 10 a.m. to 12. You can hit the bell so you don't miss out on a stream. Subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more of the content. I will be doing a video tomorrow about my next crypto predictions, specifically Ethereum, a little bit of Bitcoin in there, but mainly Ethereum. I'll be talking about what I expect next for that pair, medium term, long term prediction for that one. So if you're into crypto, or you're just interested to see what I think is going to happen with Ethereum, be sure to check out that video, which I'll be posting tomorrow. Nice stream. How many followers do you have? Did you have before the stream? I had 3,935 before the stream. That's actually a good memory there. No problem, bro. Happy to help. Pleasure. Do you ever trade UCZR? I'm the first time viewer. Love to see the way. Hey, thank you so much, Nia, bro. I have traded UCZR in the past, but not of recent. I can't remember the last time I actually traded UCZR. Not this year. I mainly focused on the Forex major minor pairs, so pretty much all dollar pairs, and then some of the cross pairs as well is where I focus my trading on. I don't really look to trade exotics, even though the price action is the same, but they're a lot more volatile. And yeah, trading pairs like Euro USD and Pound USD work well for me, so that's mainly where I focus on. But if you want me to take a look at USDZR, I will take a look on my stream next week. I'll go through it with you guys if you want to. But yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the stream. I will be live again next week, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. I hope I do see you all there. Like I said, I'll be posting that crypto video tomorrow, and I'll be live, not live, well, I will be live next week, but I'll be posting a video on the weekend recapping our analysis here. and also forecasting for next week. So be sure to check out that video as well if you want to. But yeah, guys, please like the video, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I do appreciate that, and does help the channel out. But yeah, I'll catch you all next week. Have a good one.